Hi there, Simon from simonwoods.com. 5 Chianti Classicos, 2 vintages, 1 glass, 1 taster, 1 spittoon. Let's get into them. First one, this is Tesco's own label, 2010 vintage, bottled by SI3537, whoever that is. Let's give it a whirl. Interesting. This it's like there's well, what I'm looking for in Chianti. It's got quite a bit of plummy weight, but balanced against that, there's a cherry freshness. How can you get the two reconciled? Well, let's taste it and see whether they do reconcile. And that's good chewy Wednesday evening wine. Not amazing concentration. Not afraid to have its acidity and tannin, but just the perfect thing to bite against. So it's something that's got quite a bit of protein in there. Maybe I'd have it with some hard cheeses or a steak, but maybe sausages if it's Wednesday night. Not amazingly complex, but yeah, good Wednesday night glug. Let's try the next one. So this is again 2010 vintage. This is Castellari 2010. Well, I've just checked the alcohol on the first one. Can't believe that these two are both the same level. This one smells like it's going to have a lot more plummy plushness, and maybe it's more on that plums and the dark berries and black currants, and the cherry is just lurking in the background. Feels like it's going to be a heartier, throatier wine. So maybe instead of if the first one's the Wednesday night wine, this maybe is the weekend wine. And I think it's got roughly similar levels of tannin and acidity, but it's got more flesh on those bones, so you don't notice them as much. But you do notice the there's a touch of vanilla in there. I don't know whether that's from oak or whether it's from something that's in the grapes in the first place. And there's a freshness about it. There's plums, and then these cherries do kick in, and it's more the cherry kernel, and it's dark cherries as well. Tasty wine. For me, a big step up. Not that I didn't like the first one. I like that. Tasty wine. Right, wine number 3. This is San Felice Chianti Classico 2009. Let's give it a whirl. Well, it's a year older, but it actually smells quite a bit more mature than that. There's the cherries. There's some of that cherry kernel as well. Maybe a touch of cola too. It smells like it's not going to be as full-bodied as the second one, but slightly fuller than the first one. What's an interesting one, that one. I get that cola, the cherries. There is a touch of Brettanomyces I find in there, adding a little bit of funkiness and maybe some meatiness. And then there are some more interesting things that lurk in the background. Things like herbs, a bit of spice as well. And almost makes me think that I wouldn't be surprised to, I don't know, it feels at the moment like there's maybe 3 years difference between these, the Castellari 2010 and this 2009. Wouldn't be surprised if, like, in a few hours, the Castellari, not looking older or tired by any means, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one sort of suddenly came into its own. I'll report back on that one. Not as good as a Castellari for me, but as I say, I will report back. Wine number 4, Poggerino. I never know whether it's Poggerino or Poggerino. I'm going to call it Poggerino. Poggerino 2009 Chianti Classico. And this feels light and charming, almost once upon a time, actually not too long ago, but in the late 80s and 90s, it seemed like Chianti Classico wanted to try and ape Bordeaux. Now, there are quite a few wines which, thanks to the way in which the wines are being made, thanks to the way in which people have sorted out which clones of Sangiovese grow best on which soils. There's almost like a Burgundian type of fragrance and earthiness that's coming through in the wine, and I get that slight delicacy, more Burgundian delicacy here. Maybe the Castellari is more in the Bordeaux mould. Here, yes, a nice fragrant, gentle. There's a juicy cherry character, maybe a few other red berries in there, but undercurrents of earthiness. Yum, yum, yum. Yes, there's it has the effortless allure of great wine. It's not trying to smack you around the head and say, look at me. It just says, here I am, what do you think? And I think, thumbs up. So there's the juiciness, there's the earthiness, there's a real, as I suspected, a real sense of place. It's probably the palest of the wines so far, but in terms of depth of flavour and interest of flavour, it's my favourite. The Castellari was maybe a bit louder, maybe they polished it just that little bit too much, but both of those for me step above the other two so far. Hey, I like it. Wine number 5 to finish with. This is Barone Ricasole Chianti Classico, so Reserva Rocca Gicciarda, 2009 vintage. Interesting, this one. I think that there is a little bit of Cabernet and Merlot in with the Sangiovese. I'm not sure of the blends for the other 4. Sangiovese will be the main grape throughout. I think you're supposed to have 85% for Chianti Classico, but here I think that there's maybe 12% made up of Merlot and Cabernet, but it feels it's that cherry kernel and spicy earthiness of Sangiovese that's carrying it. It feels like it's quite a plush wine, probably has some things in common with the Castellari, and maybe if those Bordeaux grapes are making their presence felt, there's a slight greenness at the back, that herbal character that you get from Cabernet, and that for me is not a fault. It's actually an attribute, but you get onto, is this authentic Tuscan wine? And I don't want to get bogged down in that debate. It's for me, start off as, do you like it? And then, is it authentic? And lots of other things in the equation. Maybe I'll shut up and taste it. And you could describe it as international if you were being really, really hard on it. There's some of that green, some of those more berry and black currant characters of the Bordeaux grapes do come through. But it's this really nice, juicy, cherryish Sangiovese and that earthy bit of cola. I get cola in quite a lot of Sangioveses. That's really the main event. Those Bordeaux grapes just adding a little bit of polish is maybe the wrong word, but yeah, a few extra attributes. Is it authentic Chianti Classico? Who cares? It's pretty tasty wine. I still think I prefer the Poggioino, but. Nice set of 5 wines. I think I'll be setting into the Poggioino first this evening, but I've got 4 other wines to fall back on if that lets me down. See you soon.